Chicago is famed for its patchwork of neighborhoods, each with a unique history. But over time, the rich history of some of the city's communities has become clouded by tragedy. Urban historian and Southsider Sherman Dilla Thomas says that perception can cloud a community's future, too. Tonight, Thomas gives us the last word on how he says understanding our city's past can lead to a better tomorrow.
My name is Sherman Dilla Thomas, and I'm an urban historian here in Chicago. We're standing in front of Frank Gillespie Elementary School, a school here in Chicago that's named after the founder of the Supreme Liberty Life Insurance Company. And we're here today because I wanted to highlight not only the history of the school, but the history of the man. Frank Gillespie started what was the first African-American life insurance company founded north of the Mason-Dixon line. Why is that important? In the early 1900s, life insurance companies would not give African Americans life insurance. We know that that's a way to create generational wealth. But not only did his company insure African Americans, it also provided the seed money for what will become Burr Oak Cemetery, where Emmett Till lays in peace right now. From that money, he hired a young intern by the name of John H. Johnson, went on to give us Ebony and Jet. This school is nestled in a neighborhood called Lilydale. To my knowledge, it's the only neighborhood in Chicago that was entirely built by African Americans. That was unheard of in the 1940s and 50s, but it was true. African American bricklayers, electricians, plumbers, all built the neighborhood for themselves and now has a school here. We're down the street from Robert Abbott Park, but the park only says Abbott Park. I wonder how many people in Princeton Park and the surrounding neighborhoods know that that park is named for the founder of the Chicago Defender. If you're African American here in Chicago and your family arrived after World War I, it was probably because your family read an article by Robert Abbott. And so here in Chicago, we have a place we call Parkway Gardens. Notoriously, it's called O Block. That neighborhood sadly has a bit of an energy. But I wonder if the people there know the history of the neighborhood. That neighborhood, both sides of the street, was owned by an African American by the name of Herman Roberts. He had the Herman Roberts Road Show. It was a place where African American performers would come to stay. They could perform downtown at what we call tan clubs, but they couldn't sleep there at night. Herman Roberts provided them a place to stay, and he would also provide an outlet for up-and-coming musicians. If you go to Ellis Island in New York, you feel an energy. If you go to Gorée Island in Ghana in Africa, which they call the door of no return, you feel an energy. But you do that and you feel that energy because you're aware of the history before you arrive there. Every weekend we broadcast out how many people were shot and sadly how many people were killed. And I think that that's important information, but we also should let people know what the city is and what the city has been and what we can become. Chicago neighborhoods have a history, and I think if we started to give that information and tell the history of the neighborhoods, perhaps we can change them.
And Sherman Thomas will get to put his history expertise to the test on WTTW. He's a contestant on the Great Chicago Quiz Show with Jeffrey Bear this Friday, April 16th, so be sure to check him out. And be sure to visit our website to watch more in our Last Word series.